Here's the Philidor defense, lesson 8. E4, E5, knight F3, D6, D4, E takes D4, knight takes D4, knight F6, knight C3, bishop E7, G3, D5, E5, knight G4. So white still has the initiative after knight E4 because of knight takes E4, D takes E4, bishop G2, queen D5, castles, queen takes E5, bishop F4, queen A5, bishop takes E4, regaining the pawn, castles, queen F3, etc. So now, bishop G2, knight takes E5, queen E2, knight E6, a weird position to say the least. Black's king's knight has made 4 moves to end up on C6. Bishop E3. White is a pawn down, but he is sure to regain it when his lead in development will give him a significant advantage. Castles. Here we see that he's handing back the pawn. If instead he played, let's say, bishop E6, the tactics would allow white to reclaim the D5 pawn anyways, with excellent position. Queenside castle, knight takes D4, bishop takes D4, castles, knight takes D5, bishop takes D5, queen E5, and the threat of mate on G7 obliges black to give back the piece. Bishop F6, queen takes D5. So now, what about, let's go back here to white just played queenside castle. What if black just castles at this position? So knight takes E6, F takes E6, knight takes D5, E takes D5, bishop takes D5 check, king H8, bishop takes C6, and this is even worse for black. So, let's go back to black playing castles. Knight takes D5, knight takes D4, bishop takes D4, B4 check. Black hopes to escape the pressure through this simplifying combination. Knight takes B4, queen takes D4, C3, queen C5, knight D5, bishop E6, and black is almost but not quite equal, and this highlights the difference between groveling and having easy draw. B4. White exploits the fact that the black queen must stay defending C7 to invigorate his attack. Queen D6, rook D1, bishop takes D5, bishop takes D5, queen B6, castles, A5, rook FE1, and white here ignores his opponent's queenside demonstration. C6. Now what about the obvious move of A takes B4? So then bishop takes F7 and wins all lines. For example, rook takes F7, so then rook takes D8 check, rook F8, rook takes F8, check, queen takes f8, or king takes f8, queen e8 mate. Let's go back, let's see what else we got. Okay, from this bishop takes f7. So let's say king h8, rook d8, knight c6, rook takes a8, rook takes a8, queen e8 check, followed by mate. So, and we have another variation here. Let's say from this position, black played rook takes d8, then queen e8 check, and that also mates. But it just keeps going on and on. So let's see, the third one is queen takes f7, queen c4 check, queen f6, f4 check, followed by queen takes f8 when white is material up with a winning attack. And here, oh, not that, if king g6, then rook e6 check wins the queen. So that was a doozy. So here we had, what was it, rook f e1 and c6. Bishop b3, a takes b4, queen e7, knight a6, rook e5, and the rook heads for h5 to finish off the attack. B takes c3, rook d7, queen b4. So now let's look into knight b4. Bishop takes h7. Bishop takes f7 check. King h8. Rook h5. c2. Rook takes h7 check. King takes h7. And queen h4 mate. So that's no good. So what did we just do? Oh, rook d7. Queen b4. Bishop takes f7 check. King h8. Queen g5. h6. So what about c2, trying to run for the queen? Bishop c4. c1 queen check. Queen c1, and black is still facing a decisive onslaught without even a passed pawn to confuse matters. So continuing from here, h6, queen g6, queen b2, rook h5, queen c1 check. So what about c2? So then rook takes h6 check, g takes h6, queen takes h6 mate. So that doesn't work. So we have rook c1 check, king g2, knight b4, rook b1, and the black queen is deflected from the defense of h6. Queen c2, rook takes h6 check, g takes h6, queen f6 check, king h7, rook d7, queen e4, check, king h3, and there's nothing to be done to prevent a killing discovered check from the white bishop. Well, that pretty much deals with the Philidor defense. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you can find any other material in the Philidor defense, I feel like there's still more to look at. So just give me a message or leave some feedback.